Hello students, today you will learn about adding and subtracting centimeters and millimeters. Now before we start, you have to first keep in mind that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Now look at this question. In this question, we are asked to add 7 centimeters, 2 millimeters and 5 centimeters, 1 millimeter. So what we will do here is, we will first express the lengths in millimeters and then add them. So we will first express 7 centimeters as millimeters. Now since we know that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, then 7 centimeters will be equal to 70 millimeters. So in place of 7 centimeters, we will write 70 millimeters. And since 2 is already in millimeters, it will remain the same. Now we will express 5 centimeters as millimeters. So 5 centimeters will be equal to 50 millimeters because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Now in place of 5 centimeters, we can write 50 millimeters. And 1 is already in millimeters, so it will remain the same. Now, in the next step, 70 millimeters and 2 millimeters can be written as 72 millimeters, and 50 millimeters and 1 millimeter can be written as 51 millimeters. Now since both the lengths are in millimeters, we can add them. Now when we add 72 and 51, we get 123. So we will write 123 millimeters. Now since the value is more than 10, we have to convert it back to centimeters. Now, in order to convert 123 millimeters to centimeters, we can write 123 millimeters as 120 millimeters plus 3 millimeters. Now students, 120 millimeters is more than 10 millimeters, so we can convert it back to centimeters. Now since 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter, 120 millimeters will be equal to 12 centimeters and 3 millimeters will remain the same. So when we add 7 centimeters, 2 millimeters and 5 centimeters, 1 millimeter, we get 12 centimeters, 3 millimeters. Now students, look at this question. In this question, we are asked to add 4 centimeters, 9 millimeters and 6 centimeters, 5 millimeters. So what we are going to do here is, before adding them, we are going to express the lengths in millimeters. Here 9 and 5 are already in millimeters, so we are only going to express 4 centimeters and 6 centimeters as millimeters. So when we express 4 centimeters as millimeters, we get 40 millimeters. And when we express 6 centimeters as millimeters, we get 60 millimeters. So in the next step, in place of 4 centimeters, we can write 40 millimeters, and 9 millimeters will remain the same, and in place of 6 centimeters, we can write 60 millimeters, and 5 millimeters will remain the same. Now since the units are same, in place of 40 millimeters, 9 millimeters, we can write 49 millimeters, and 60 millimeters, 5 millimeters can be written as 65 millimeters. So what we did here is, we have added 40 millimeters and 9 millimeters to get 49 millimeters, and we have added 60 millimeters and 5 millimeters to get 65 millimeters. Now since the units of both the lengths are the same, we can add them. So when we add 49 and 65, we get 114. So in the next step, we will write 114 millimeters. Now here the value is more than 10 millimeters. So we will express this as centimeters. Now in order to express this as centimeters, we have to write 114 millimeters as 110 millimeters plus 4 millimeters. Now since 4 millimeters is less than 10 millimeters, so we can only express 110 millimeters as centimeters. Now since 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter, 110 millimeters will be equal to 11 centimeters. And since 4 millimeters is less than 10 millimeters, so it will remain the same. So when we add 4 centimeters, 9 millimeters and 6 centimeters, 5 millimeters, we get 11 centimeters, 4 millimeters. Now look at this question. In this question, we are asked to subtract 3 centimeters, 7 millimeters from 8 centimeters, 4 millimeters. Now what we are going to do here is, before subtracting, we are going to express 8 centimeters and 3 centimeters as millimeters. 8 centimeters can be written as 80 millimeters and 3 centimeters can be written as 30 millimeters, because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Now in the next step, in place of 8 centimeters, we can write 80 millimeters and 4 millimeters will remain the same, and in place of 3 centimeters, we can write 30 millimeters and 7 millimeters will remain the same. 80 millimeters, 4 millimeters can be written as 84 millimeters, and 30 millimeters, 7 millimeters can be written as 37 millimeters. We got 84 millimeters by adding 18 millimeters and 4 millimeters, and we got 37 millimeters by adding 30 millimeters and 7 millimeters. Now since both the lengths have same unit, we can subtract them. So when we subtract 37 from 84, we get 47. So in the next step, we write 47 millimeters. Now since 47 millimeters is more than 10 millimeters, we can express it as centimeters. So in order to express 47 millimeters as centimeters, we can write 47 millimeters as 40 millimeters plus 7 millimeters. So since 40 millimeters is more than 10 millimeters, it can be expressed as centimeters, but 7 millimeters is less than 10 millimeters, so it will remain the same. So when we express 40 millimeters as centimeters, we get 4 centimeters and 7 millimeters will remain the same. So when we subtract 3 centimeters 7 millimeters from 8 centimeters 4 millimeters, we get 4 centimeters 7 millimeters. So students, that's all for today. Thank you.